Top of the morning, good afternoon, and hello, and welcome to all the coaches. Dermot Butley here, also known as the Celtic Coach. Now, in my 12 years of teaching many clients, coaches, how to create successful coaching practices, how to develop their coaching skills, and just an amazing amount of people that personal, clients that I've coached over the years. It always comes back to three questions. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're talking about, what the client is into, what their career is, what they want to talk to you about. It always comes back to three questions. And these questions I have used for years and years and years of coaching clients successfully. So I'm going to share them with you. We have a full resource library, and one of the things in that library is questions. Questions are the answers. Coaches don't need to be the answer to the client. Be the question. It's much more impactful to a client. Instead of you telling them what to do, you ask them a great question. Questions are the answer. As my coach always said to me, Dermot, don't be the answer, be the question. Most of us want to impose our opinions. We want to tell the client what to do. We want to look great in front of the client. But if you can step back and listen and ask some great questions, and these questions are the most simple questions, the neurological questions, so the questions that the reptilian, the emotional, and the neocortex brain ask themselves all the time. They come up in conversations all the time. They're the three questions that anytime you ask anybody about wanting to do something or experiencing something, these three questions come up. So you already know what the three questions is. I'm just highlighting them though, so that you can go out there and really start to develop these three questions and to develop your coaching skills. Now, the first question when you're working with someone is, what do you want? Now, most coaches are like, yeah, we know that question, Dermot. I mean, that's as plain as, the nose on my face. But you know what? A lot of people don't know they have a nose on their face. That question is powerful. Now, when you ask someone, what do you want? They might say, I don't know. And you say, well, give it a minute. The universe might need a couple of seconds to give you a new idea or a new thought. And when someone starts telling you what they want, it's usually not what they want. And so you want to listen for a little bit and then say, I think we're getting close here. But what do you really want here? So then the client will reflect. Silence is a great thing to help the client reflect. Silence. Allow the silence to inform the next question. Allow the silence to inform what it is you're going to say. Most coaches are not comfortable with silence, and it's the number one tool in coaching. So, John, this is what you want. I think we're getting close here. How close do you think are we? Is this really what you want? And then again, zip the lip and allow the client to share. What do you spend time with? What do you want? Most coaches say, what do you want? Okay, wonderful. But how are you going to get it? I don't know. That's why I came to coaching. So what do you want? Spend time on that. It's also known as the contracting question or creating an outcome for session. I was a trainer with Ericsson International for 5 years. I've trained hundreds and hundreds of coaches. And I will slow them down every time to look at this question. What do you want? What do you really want? Most clients don't know. They'll give you a kind of a surface answer. So I'm going to encourage you to keep asking, what do you want? Okay, tell me about that. Tell me a little bit more about that. What do you mean when you say you want that? Tell me a little bit more about that. What do you mean? Now, the second most important question that you will, it's probably the most important question. It's a values question. Everything in our life reflects values. This is my favorite t-shirt. Why is it my favorite t-shirt? Because it has a bear playing a banjo, smoking a pipe. Now, I'm not a big, I used to smoke years ago, but I love the color, blue. Blue is a very spiritual color. It's very easy on the relaxing color for me. I love blue. I love bears and I love music. So this is my favorite t-shirt. It expresses my value. What's the value it's expressing? Spirituality. That's a value of mine, meditating, yoga, doing those kinds of things. Everything in your home expresses your value. Everything the client is wearing expresses his value. This hat, my glasses, everything in my home expresses values. The only reason you ever do anything is because of a feeling. And your values express a feeling, and a feeling will express your values. So why is it important? Is the most important question you'd ever ask the client. Now, do coaches kind of, well, why do you want that? Okay, all right, well, tell me, how are you going to get that? You've got to slow it down, especially when you're creating a contract with a client. And ask them, okay, so what do you want? Spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on that. Lots of silence. By the way, this is how you coach six-figure clients. This is how you coach athletes. This is how you coach anybody on the planet. But we're talking here about how to coach six-figure clients. These are the questions. But the professional coaches, the one that make the six figures, they slow it down and they keep it on these three questions for a while. So why is it important? Different ways of asking that question is, what benefit will it bring to your life? Why is that of value to you? Why is that important to you? What are you going to get out of this if you get that? How is this going to impact your life in a positive way? That's all different ways of asking, why is this important? The why question reflects the values. The why question is why the client is there. So you got to spend time with it. Now, at the end of a session, coaches always skip over the action step. They say, well, what's an action step you want to do for the week? Oh, I'm going to call this. Okay, wonderful, great. That's it. The client comes back next week. Did you do your action step? No. Do you know the number one reason why clients don't do their action steps is because coaches don't spend enough time asking a value question, a why question about the action step. Let me give you some examples. Come to the end of your session, 60-minute session, you want to do an action step. You usually want to get 1 to 3 action steps. Now, by the way, there's a link down below, and it has 6 videos down there, 10-minute videos. And it's all about building your coaching practice. And I talk about selling versus serving in there. That's the why, serving versus selling. Check out those videos. It's a free course. You can download it. So you want to spend time on the why with the client. Why do you want to do that action step? What would be the benefit of that action step? How will that benefit you? How will it impact your family? How will it impact your community? Why is that the most valuable, important? Why is that the most important action step you're going to do this week? What's going to get in the way? What are you going to do about it? If you were to make this action step the most important action step for the entire week, what would you need to commit to? What would you need to give yourself permission to? What would you need to agree to? What would you need to say yes to? What would you need to say no to? These are all value questions. The why question is so, so important to spend it on creating the contract, the agreement, the outcome for the session. And also, anytime the client mentions they want something, you want to ask them, why? Why do you want that? So what do you want? Why is it important? Now, the last question is equally as obvious as the nose in your face. How might you get that? Now, remember, I didn't say, how are you going to get that? You don't want to be so direct with the client, especially with a new client. You're building rapport, you're building trust. You want to ask them, how might, it's called a softener. How might you get that? How might you do that? If you were to move towards that, what would one easy, doable step look like? If you were to get that in a very simple and easy way, what would you begin? Where would you begin? What would you begin with? If you could start moving towards this in an easy, joyful, fun way, what's one action step that you would take? These are all different ways of saying, how are you going to get it? How might you create that? What would it look like if you started to create that in your life? And again, you go back to the why question. And if you created it, why is that important? And if you created that, why is it important? Really, really important. What do you want? Spend time there. Why is that important? Why else is that important? Why else is that important? Ask different ways of asking the why. How will that impact you? How will it make your life better? How will it make your life more fun, more easy, more joyful? Ask the client, what are your values? What do you value most in your life? Love, joy, peace, freedom, time, money, whatever it is. By the way, money is not a value, it's a means to a value. And you want to ask, how are you going to get it? What would it look like if you could get that? What would it feel like? What would you be thinking? How might you create that? How might you experience that? What's something you already know how to do in order to create that, experience that, get that? Who would you need to be in order to have that? What will that feel like when you have that? What do you want? Why is it important? And how might you get that? They're the three most important. You can coach anybody on the planet with those three questions. Now, if you're a coach and you're wanting to create some paid clients, there's a free course down below on how to build a coaching practice. It's called Business Building Made Easy for Coaches. Feel free to download that and listen to it. It's 6 videos. They're 10 minutes. Pretty easy, simple stuff. I'm Dermot. This is the Celtic Coach. I hope you've enjoyed our video. I certainly have fun creating them. Until the next one, think big, have fun, stay curious. Cheers.